Hello everyone, I'm Alexis Gonzalez.
And I'm Kylie Brown, and this is 489 News.
For our feature story this month, we visited with Hayes High Principal Martin STRAUB about the various improvements they made to our school over the summer. Here's CASSY QUINBY with more on the story.
Another new school year is already underway, and to welcome students back was new technology and many new changes to the building. I got the chance to talk to our principal, Mr. Martin STRAUB, about all of the changes and the new devices for staff and students.
We've made many changes with our technology at Hayes High School. Last year we added much more bandwidth for the district. We have moved our servers over to Eagle Communications. They are hosting those for us. And really the biggest decision last year had to do with the device for students and teachers. In USD 489, the elementary and middle schools had decided to go to the iPad. We continued to research. Of course, Hayes High had been a Windows platform school for about 8 years. We did live in the Mac environment on our first lease, and we visited other schools. We researched different devices and ended up selecting the Windows platform, and most specifically the Surface Pro 3 for teachers and the Surface 3 for students. The Surface Pro 3 is not a new device necessarily, but the Surface 3 is this summer. They have all arrived. As far as why we went to the Windows platform, we really see it as a great opportunity for Hayes High students to be eventually very competent, very proficient, mastering two platforms. Think of it as students working through our USD 49 school system, working with the Macintosh environment, with the Apples, with the iPads in the grades K through 8, and when they hit high school, having to learn a new platform. Kids are going to have to learn new technology when they leave us. This gives them an opportunity for 4 years to master the Windows platform, whatever that might be in 4 years. But today it's Windows 10, and the device they'll have is the Surface 3. We think it's a good device. We're getting very good feedback from teachers. We're going to have to be patient with one another. There's a lot of management issues. There are many questions that I don't know. This morning I was doing the tutorial on Windows 10, which is very helpful, but some of the things weren't working quite the way they're supposed to for me, and we're just going to have to be patient. We have a smart student body, we have a smart staff, and we will work hard to be on the same page eventually. The lecture hall at Hayes High School is one of the major improvements this summer. We had it on the capital outlay list for improvement for 4 years, and finally we're able to build enough money up in there at the district office for the lecture hall. What's interesting is the estimate 4 years ago was about $105,000 of improvements, and the total cost of this improvement right now is right about between $75,000 and $80,000. So the good news is costs must have gone down during that time, or we were just more efficient. But nonetheless, we're very proud of the facility. We did several things in here. Number one, we painted all the walls. Used to have some yellow walls and some maroon that was really more red, so we trying to get back to the Hayes High maroon. The lighting was changed throughout. The lighting was changed from the fluorescent lighting, which is a little more expensive to run, to LED lighting. It's brighter, there are fewer fixtures, and it will save many, many dollars in electricity. The third thing we did was we took out all the seats. We had about 50 seats that were unusable. The seats were about 33, 34 years old this year, and it was really time to replace those. We did put a textured, a padded seat in because we needed variance in the size of the seats. Kids are much larger today than they used to be. Some are still small. So we have some 22-inch seats. We have some 20-inch seats. We have handicap accessible seats in here. And those seats will be finalized here within the next week or so with the company out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So the seats have been replaced and repaired. And finally, the last thing, as you can see going on right now, and that is we changed the carpet. The carpet was stained, damaged, and torn, and it was time to do that too. We didn't go with the maroon. We went with a darker gray, but we really feel it's good, in good condition. I really want to thank Rusty, Lindsay, Jeff Arnold, and all the maintenance staff at USD 49, because without their help and guidance, this wouldn't have been possible today. And I think kids will appreciate this room and really recognize it as a nice improvement and an investment in them by USD 49. Okay. So another one of the improvements at Hayes High this summer in the facilities was the pouring of concrete, hundreds of yards probably, I don't know how many yards, but it's a pad that's 60 feet by about 300 feet. We've had many, many trips and falls and things out in the parking lot. The bottom line is, over 32 years, the asphalt has served us well, but it was time to start that improvement. With the leadership of Rusty Lindsay and his group, we've been able to have Brian's Concrete Service come out and really worked well with us. Did it in 2 phases, so we didn't shut down both entrances at the same time. But right now, we're waiting for this concrete to cure a few more days. The guys from transportation will come in and stripe it, and should be ready to use next week when the freshmen through seniors come back to Hayes High for this school year. But much, much needed improvement. We're hopeful that we can do a similar pad next year here at Hayes High.
Improvements were also made to the track and both gyms A and B here at the high school. I would like to thank Mr. STRAUB for agreeing to talk to us during this very busy time of year. Reporting from Hayes High, this is CASSY QUINBY for 489 News.
As part of a 2-part installation, we interviewed seniors who are and will be involved in the 489 News program this year about their future goals. We will check back in with them later in the year to see if any of their goals may have changed.
I'm Kylie Brown, and I'm a senior anchor for 489 News. And how I feel about senior year is that I'm way too old to be a senior, and I still feel like I should be in kindergarten. And my plans for after high school include going to Fort Hays and either majoring in graphic design or going into psychology, and then possibly doing counseling out of that, or I'm still undecided, so I guess anything's possible.
Hi, I am Caleb Pfeiffer, and I am going to be senior editor for the Hayes High 489 Media News. And honestly, I don't really feel like a senior. I don't feel like our whole class is seniors. It just kind of seems unreal, but I guess we are. Maybe when I'm 18, I'll feel like that. But once I graduate, I'm planning on going to K-State to probably go into architecture, but I'm actually really just undecided right now. I may go into something with music or media technology, so I have no idea what the future holds, but yeah.
Hi, I'm Alexis Gonzalez, and I am the assistant producer for 489 News and also a senior anchor. It's crazy that we're seniors already. It did not feel like that at all. I feel like we were still freshmen just yesterday, but it's going by pretty fast, and honestly, I'm pretty excited because I want it to be over. But I am hopefully attending KU next year to study pre-med, and then after that, I'll go to medical school to become an oncologist. So, pretty excited.
I am Brooks Barber, and I'm the executive producer of 489 News. And how I feel about senior year is that it's just hard to believe that our class is already at this point in life and that we will all be going our separate ways at the end of this year. And as for my future plans, I'm going to go to Fort Hays State University and either major in marketing or media studies, but I'll decide on that later.
And now for headlines from around the district. The end of May not only marked the end of a school year, but the end of a legacy for Washington Elementary School. Mr. Allen Park, the transition coordinator, had to relocate his students to other schools around our district. Mr. Park said, "Some of the steps that we took in the spring helped to release some of the anxiety for the students. In most cases, many of our students going into their new schools had smiles on their faces and were looking for a new journey in their education. Before the end of last year, we took them to each of their schools in the spring so they could get a feel for their new schools ahead of time."
Hayes Middle School has seen a change in leadership as Shauna Zweifel takes the place of Shannon Damel as the assistant principal. Zweifel has spent her whole educational career at the Hayes School District, from being a student to being a math teacher at the middle school. She says she is looking forward to the challenges she will face as assistant principal and is excited to see what the school year holds, hoping she will be a positive influence at Hayes Middle School. The assistant principal position became open after Mrs. Shannon Damel accepted the principal position at Laughlin Elementary School.
On July 1st, a change in leadership was seen at the Board of Education level with welcoming of 3 new board members. These new board members are Paul Adams, Luca Borney, and Mandy Fox. Superintendent Mr. Dean Katz said, that he is excited to be working with the new board members on this year's goals. They are a very dedicated group of people that have the best interests of the students in mind. When asked about his thoughts on the school year, Kat said that, "We had an excellent start to the school year, and the board is excited to see how the new technology transforms the way students learn. The theme for this year is celebrating success. The board will continue to recognize the district's successes and strive to provide opportunities so every student can meet their educational goals."
Our final story this month is the welcoming of many new teachers to the Hayes High staff. Alexis and I visited with them about how they are adapting to the new feel of the school.
So, how do you feel going from being a student teacher to being a part of the Hayes High staff this year?
Well, there's a lot of parts that are very similar, but it's nice having my own classroom for real. So that's kind of different. And then I guess I get more one-on-one student contact, so that's kind of nice too.
And what sort of classes are you teaching this year differently than last year?
Well, last year I did Advanced Algebra 2, FST, and Algebra 2. And this year I'm doing again FST and Advanced Algebra 2, and then I'm doing Geometry as well.
And then are there any other differences you've noticed from being a student teacher to being a part of the staff this year?
Basically, I get to work with more of the other math faculty this time. Usually when I was student teaching, I went just with my cooperating teachers, and now I work with everyone. So it's more of a team effort.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about Hayes High and kind of coming in as a new coach and a new teacher after having like previous coaches?
It's been interesting. There's a lot of things that are different. Of course, it's a little bigger high school. I think that some of the disappointment of some things are that we don't have a lot of kids out for football, and coming here wanting to be a football coach and accepting the position, I thought we'd have a lot more kids out. I have a lot of kids in my classroom that aren't participating in a sport this fall, and that's kind of discouraging. The positive thing is the kids that are out and the kids in my classroom are really good kids and work hard.
So with the boys that you do have out for football, what are we going to see from them this year?
Well, they're inexperienced. Not very many of them got to play varsity last year. The schedule's very challenging. Most of the schools last year were junior oriented on the schedule, so it's going to be a challenge each week, but I think we'll get better and it's going to be exciting.
And what are you looking forward most to about this season and from the boys that you have out this year?
Watching them improve. I think with the inexperience that they have, they're going to just get better each week.
For more headlines from Hayes High and around the district, go to our website at 489news.com, or you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at 489news.
We now leave you with Sage Markley and Dylan Scheibler on what teachers and students did over their summer vacation. Thanks for watching.
Summer has came to a close and the new school year begins. Today we are asking students what they did this summer.
Hey Griffin, what did you do this summer?
I had people come swim in my pool. We hung out there most of the time and just hung out with friends.
I worked at Trump Grande, hung out with friends, dyed my hair.
I shot 2 weddings. I'm a wedding photographer.
I spent 3 hours a day in the gym, and after that probably just relax. I don't really know. I swam in the pool, maybe throw my friends in bed.
I worked.
Went to the lake.
Played sports.
I read. I did weightlifting and I played sports.
I went fishing, hiking, about died on that hike. Didn't do a lot of activities except swimming at my main man Griffin's house.
I went to work, lifted, and I played some summer baseball.
Oh, I had a blast. I lesson planned. I went to Wyoming, ran a race or watched a race, and went to Yellowstone National Park. It was a blast.